Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host Aladdin, and today we're gonna continue our weekly K-pop recaps. This is I think number 26, and it's gonna include a good 10 days of October's music. And let's get right into it without wasting too much time. First song is Dreamcatcher with Vision. A very good song, I think. I think this is an example of how they can fuse their classic rock sound with more of their EDM and hard and aggressive production that they've been doing a lot in the last 2 years. As far as they're big in like the festivals and stuff like that, so they're selling pretty well. They have a fan base in Korea, a decent fan base in the West. But yeah, I mean, this is a good example of good, I think, fusion. The rapping here works really, really well. It's a good song. Would I go back to it a million times? No, but I can appreciate the effort of trying to blend the two great sides of Dreamcatcher and not trying to go only one way or the other. You know, I think fusion is a good thing in K-pop, and if you can do it well, like in this song, it's always a plus no matter what. I don't know if they dropped an album with it, but if they did, I'll definitely check it out. Next, Lee Chaeyeon with Hush Rush. Lee Chaeyeon's sister of Lee Chaeyeon from ITZY, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, and it's a pretty good song, I'd say. For a debut, it's pretty good. If it's her debut, but anyway, post. What was the group she used to be in? IDZON. I think she was in IDZON already. Yeah. Post IDZON, like this is a good single for her. Quality production. I really like the vocals. It's a little bit maybe too kind of like edgy, teenagey for me, but it's still a quality song nonetheless. You know, it's at least she's going towards the right direction. They try to give her own color and not trying to emulate too much the other people that are already in this industry and be a copy of somebody else, which is always the right thing to do, because I think right now in 2022 going into 2023, you better play the long run in K-pop. You don't know how, if the K-pop scene will be as big because BTS is not here, you know, and they're starting going to the military. BTS fans only care about BTS, so maybe a lot of these numbers are gonna disappear, and maybe the genre gonna regress a little bit until they're out. Therefore, you know, try to do your own thing. It's always a better thing. Overall, I enjoyed. I really like the chorus here a lot, actually, and it's a song that I will go back to personally. Next, we have Ballad by Kim Na-young. I can't. Very good. I really like her vocals here. Her performance carries obviously the song, and it's a very enjoyable listen for me. There isn't much more to say. Go definitely give it a listen because it's pretty good in my opinion. Next we have Coyote with Soulmate. This is different for me from My Hero, for example. I feel like still the vocals are there, the production doesn't really fit with what they're trying to say, the rapping doesn't really fit. It's not a bad song for me personally. I don't mind it as much, but as I said, I think what they did with My Hero is Coyote at its perfection. So I wish they kept this, but also I understand the industry. You need the love song, you need more of the songs also for the older crowds because they're older as well, and they have also an older fan base now. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, but you know, I've heard way better from them, and in general from the industry. This is one of the weakest ones from this month. Next we have Peach A with Rebreath. It's okay. I don't think there's anything good or bad about it. It's mid, but not in a negative way. It's just very boring to me. Next we have Infect with Meaningless. I personally enjoy this track quite a bit. I haven't heard a song from them in some time, sorry, but it's a quality vocal, good production, honestly, and it's Infect in every possible way. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's the greatest thing I've ever heard, but it's quality nonetheless. And you know, at least they're active and they're alive, you know, which is a good sign, I think, for them. Next we have Jaya with Good Oranges, I think it's a song. Yeah, produced by Very Goods, and apparently they're gonna do a project together. And if they do, I definitely will listen to it because Jaya sounds amazing on this type of production. Good also job by obviously Very Goods is her name, right? Yeah, Very Goods. He does a great job, and Jaya fits perfectly for him. So I would love to hear a collaboration project and how, you know, they work on a full like 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 tracks together. It would be really interesting if they do that, or maybe it's only 2 songs, you don't know. Next we have Mamamoo with Illela. This is definitely Mamamoo of the Go-Go Babies of the world and stuff like that. It's not bad, it's enjoyable. Obviously the vocals are top tier, but Moonbill's rap feels out of place. The production is not, in my opinion, interesting, or like, I wouldn't say interesting, but it's like, I wouldn't say it's like good enough for me personally. I don't think it has enough of a kick for this type of sound they're trying to go for. So you know, it's a comeback like many others by Mamamoo, but not a big fan of this personally. It's not bad, obviously, they don't make bad music, but the quality can definitely be higher from one of the best girl groups of all time, at this point. Tan, a beautiful lie. I just don't think this style fits for Tan at all. I'm sorry, I think Tan is better when they do the more aggressive, classic fourth generation boy group style. I still respect the fact that they've tried something different. They didn't pigeonhole themselves in one style. But if they intend of doing this type of thing, do it more like Treasure than, I don't know, like early, very, very, something like that. In my opinion, keep it still very like um, heavily produced, and a lot of like bangers type of music. I think that's their style, and they do, I think, pretty good in my opinion. Next we have Icon with Your Voice. This is a song for the fans, which could mean negative things for the future. Maybe the group just ends up splitting. I think it would be a sad thing for K-pop. I don't think it will happen, but it could happen. BI is also on this song, which is very interesting. So I don't know if it's an old song, I don't know if it's a new song they didn't release before. Regardless, whatever happens to Icon, because I think this is the year that their contract expires, so it will be very interesting to see what happens to them, if they're signed or not. Regardless, incredible group. Unfortunately, things happened at their debuts towards the second part of their career. When they had that early success, things went to shit immediately, which is really sad. I can only imagine what would happen if behind all those drugs scandals didn't happen. And also Bobby having a kid, which, regardless of what people tell you, it lowers your likability from female fans, which is the vast majority of K-pop audience anyway. So, the song is good though. It is good. With Beko with No Rules, I think it is a pretty good single debut for Beko. Did he ever have a single before? I'm trying to think, maybe, but at least under Hype, this is his first one. It's a good quality single, I would say. It is still in that newest type of style of music. They didn't really try to do something too different from his image as well, which is the classic, good-looking, buff man. Obviously, he's ready to go into acting. He has the physique. He has at least the vision, the visuals. Sorry for that. So they're also preparing him in a sense through the visuals of like the music video and stuff like that. But the song is very enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. Because I'm a fan of the group, but objectively it's not one of the standouts for me, at least in October. But from this week, it's one of the best ones. From these 10 days, it's one of the best ones. Next we have Kwon Yoon-bi, third single, I think in second single this year, third single overall, Underwater. It's good. It's the worst out of the three in my opinion, but it's still a quality track. The vocals are good. This song sounds a lot like a Chunga song, so I question if song was supposed to go to Chunga maybe at one point. But it's still a quality track nonetheless. Kwon Yoon-bi is one of the most interesting rising female stars of the last couple 2-3 years in my opinion, so definitely love to see her where she goes, and right now she's doing great. And I think she's gonna keep doing great because her management obviously understands, and that's the most important thing, right? If your management, the producers and the writers that work for you understand who you are and try to actually show your strengths, you're just gonna kill it in the music industry 9 times out of 10. And she has the look, she has the talent, so she's fine. That's next. We have Park Ji-hoon with Nitro. It's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of this personally. I think when he did the was it called painting? I don't remember, the one with like the whole like painting concept type of thing. Was really, I think, fit him better as an artist and as a style. He also had another song where it was more of this edgy type of so what it was like a bomb, and it was on a skyscraper. It's similar to this, in fact, but it worked better for him because I felt like the production was not as heavy, and they weren't asking him to have more of an strong performance with all these crazy like high notes. Here they ask him to do a little bit more of that, and he does it okay. I don't think he's a bad singer by any means, but he fits better when he does the classic boy idol, more of like the SM style, not the edgy one, the classic one, So I would love to see him do more of that personally, at least. Next is Up Tension with What If We Love, or If We Love. A good song, good vocals, production fits very well. I love the high pitched notes here, but guys, overall it's a very enjoyable track by Up Tension. And they haven't heard any, I felt like they were one of these groups that was really up and down recently, in my opinion, but at least this seems like a good start to have a good streak of music and possibly end the year on a good note and start 2023 better than at least this year, in my opinion, which was, I think, the worst adaptation year because I think they debuted last year, and last year was fine. This year has not been as good as I think it could have been, but I think number-wise, they're doing fine, so I think they're gonna be fine even next year. Kepler, We Fresh, good song, finally a good song by Kepler, very enjoyable. Not the biggest fan of the production, but I think it fits them better than their debut and their second single, even though the second single was good, but it definitely fits. This fits them better overall. It sounds like an actual, like, it's not like it sounds, but it looks like an actual, like, project group right now. And I'm happy about it. Finally they have personality after all this time. Next, one of the best songs of the month, easily, Ravi with Block Party. My man is ready to go to the military and live groovily into his boys. Great song. Whenever Ravi does these type of songs where he just raps and raps and raps with his great flows, great choruses, great production choices. I think he made this production, actually, I'm not sure, but regardless, amazing song. This is a great banger. This is what do you call them, concerts would kill. I would love to hear this at a concert with everybody dancing, everybody having a great time. I hope he's gonna have a great 2 years at the military as well, and everything's gonna be smooth and come back. I wish he went earlier as well. Like I say this every time, it's better to go earlier than after, but I mean, they came from a small company, so obviously they have a different idea of, like, riding the wave, and I respect that. But Ravi is gonna be fine. He's a pretty good artist, and I think this song with the album is gonna eventually drop before he goes to the end of the year. It's gonna be a great album because I know he has that in him. He showed it to me in Rookbook. Unfortunately, didn't show me with the next two projects, even though his last one was fine, was good in my opinion. This, I think, is gonna be his probably his best. His Magnus Opum. I don't know. You know what I mean. Ready with Chicken Dinner. This artist is under the same company as BI, and a very interesting song. It's half English, half Korean. It's rap, pop, but it's definitely more hip hop in that sense. I love his flow. I love the chorus a lot. It's super catchy, and it's one of these songs that I can just listen on repeat. Personally, I've really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't be surprised if others do as well. But it can be a difficult listen if you just listen to your average K-pop artist in that sense. Maybe it's the closest thing you can think of in America would be maybe Tyler, the Creator, but it's not even that, right? It's something completely different. But in terms of the aesthetics and stuff like that, it can remind you of something like that. Overall, it's a very enjoyable song for me, and very enjoyable, a very, very interesting artist that I intend of looking other stuff he's gonna make either this year or next year. Wano, Don't Regret. At first when I heard this song, I was like, I'm not really sure what he's trying to go for. I felt like maybe it was a little bit too clean, a little bit too popish and stuff like that. The chorus is great, don't get me wrong, it has a great moment where it explodes, but I still prefer when he does more of the stuff that he's been until now, where he has been fantastic at it. But it's good from him and his company to change that a little bit, and maybe go more on the edgier side, I guess, or maybe the more emotional side. I'm fine. And the music videos are not as sexual as the other ones, so it cuts a little bit from that, excessive fan service even in certain areas. And give him credit, I think his acting here was pretty solid for a guy who I don't think he's very used to really show different type of expressions in his life all the time, so pretty good. The Seraphim, Antifragile, pretty good song again. Very interesting chorus, I would say. The production is obviously pop, mainstream, but still original, different, cute, arrogant, a little bit of sexiness. But the music video is all over the place though. I feel like because the other members, I forgot her name, ended up getting removed. Some of these parts they had to reshoot, so they just went with crazy shit in the middle. So it feels like I'm saying 6 different things here. But yeah, it's definitely a good song in my opinion. It has a lot of personality. These girls are good. They're really good. Their numbers are solid, but I think after that scan they're gonna end up being a Red Velvet. I feel like, some lots of new jeans. They're never gonna be that big, but that's a good thing because I think Red Velvet is probably the greatest female group ever, just in terms of quality of music. So I want 10 of these, not only 2, if possible. G-Idol with Nude. Honestly, I don't get the nude concept at all. I don't know what they're trying to say. I don't know what they're trying to imply. Maybe it's just a metaphor. Maybe it's literal. Overall, I think it's a good song. Not one of my favorite songs of the year by any means, but it's objectively well done. I think Soyeon finally goes back to rapping good and good lyrics and not just trying to be something that she isn't, a revolutionary, somebody that has changed the game, because she hasn't changed the game, regardless of what anybody says. But if she goes towards the right direction and starts actually doing things like this type of concepts for women in K-pop, that'd be really good. This is how you change the game, not just with putting a fucking plastic crown on your head and say, I've changed the game. You didn't do shit at that point in your career. Now you're proving something as your entirety of your group. You did had 2 all kills in a year, which is actually shows how popular you guys are in Korea, and somewhat popular in the West, but specifically popular in Korea. And just build upon that. Make music, stop bullshitting. I get it, it's Cube, but focus on music. And if they focus on music, they'll be fine. They've changed also a little bit the classic kind of like way they used to do music. They changed it up a little bit, put somebody up, start the song, and then the rapping. Like they've changed that kind of like how do you call it, progression of the song. They've changed it a little bit, and the different members that started, and it's a quality song. Again, I don't get the concept that much. Maybe I should read the comments, but personally, even if I look at the comments, I don't really know what the fuck they mean anyway. So I'm just gonna leave it at that and enjoy it for what it is, honestly. Stray Kids, super bored. Not a fan of this too much, honestly. It feels like a throwaway Stray Kids song, like a lot of others that they normally do. Not bad, but I personally don't like it, but it's not bad objectively. It's just that it's boring, it's uninteresting, and from Stray Kids, I want that hunger that they had 2 years ago. It seems they completely lost it, in my opinion. They're super active, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like they're not workaholics, because they are. When I mean hunger in like actually, changing the game. They haven't really changing. Sorry, not the game, but like their style of music, trying different styles. They haven't done it in years. So hopefully you do it, because then fans tend to be more dismissive with change of style, a lot, and you can see that heavily in the numbers. Very few groups can afford to do that, and I don't think Stray Kids, in my opinion at least, is one of them. Next we have Lee Chan-hyuk with Panorama. Very good song by Lee Chan-hyuk. He's a great artist. He shows it again here with a great production, great lyrics, interesting concept. And people complain about him doing the live performance on Yo's sketchbook, I think it was, where he cuts his hair, right? And people were really mad at that, because they're saying, oh, he's just showboating. But I think it's sad, because sometimes people take a character or maybe something you do inadvertently, and they start thinking that if you do something that you truly believe, it's just fake. I think he takes his craft seriously. I don't think he will do just to shock anybody. I don't think he cares about numbers and stuff like that. If he cared, he would make money with music with his sister every day, every year. He would just music with her, right? He doesn't care, and he makes music that he wants, and he does it, I think, pretty good. And it shows why I think he's obviously extremely talented. He's gonna be fine doing whatever he wants. He's gonna have a 30-year career in Korea until his 70s. He's gonna be fine. I question with his sister, because his sister might say, I'm gonna do my own thing, and I think that could hurt her, because he's a great mind, and hopefully she can value that over the classic thing. Well, I don't want to always be around my brother, because that can honestly come and like bite you in the ass in the future. ITZY with Boys Like You. It sounds like some shit I would hear from American 2002, but I don't mind it. But at the same time, it doesn't really fit them. Like, it's not a bad song, but I don't like it. I enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't. There's stuff about it that I really like. I like the chorus a lot. Honestly, I really do. But I can't say that I really love the rest as much. And again, it doesn't really feel like it's an ITZY song in that sense. I think it's an English track, right? If my mind doesn't fuck with me. Therefore, that's one of the reasons why it sounds that way. Regardless, I'm not the greatest ITZY fan. Therefore, maybe I don't appreciate it as much as I should. But I wish they did something a little bit more close to what they do. But again, respect for trying something different. It's just that it sounds old in a sense, but at the same time, give them credit, because they've done something that I think most K-pop groups would not have the balls to do, because they'll be too scared about things like numbers and shit like that. In fact, this song doesn't even have 10 million views, but give them credit. ITZY and their management and their vision doesn't care about that type of shit, which is pretty cool. And if they wanted to make a song that would get 300 million, they would. It's just not their focus right now. Last song is by We I Spray. Yeah, I still think it's boring, honestly. Like even re-listening to the chorus for a second, like I still think it's boring. I don't really care about it. I would never go back to it. We has had a pretty bad year, I think, this year. Honestly, like I don't think they had anything memorable. Like maybe they had an EP early on where I felt like, it's not bad, but for the rest, it hasn't been a year. Like maybe I'm confusing them with somebody else. It could be, but it would be very surprising that I've heard anyway. I saw like album and be like impressed and not remember it from this year. I don't really remember like hearing one album, anything from them and thinking it was great. So unfortunately, they had a really terrible year in my opinion. The numbers are there. I think the numbers are good. 10 milli. They're chilling. You know, they're doing their own thing. They're touring. They're selling, but. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Unfortunately, it's one of the worst ones of this month. I would say one of the worst ones of the last 3 or 4 months, in my opinion, K-pop. And this is it for weekly K-pop recap number 26. I'm pretty sure. Regardless, it's pretty solid. In my opinion, good songs, a lot of mid stuff. In my opinion, a lot of groups trying to go out of their comfort zone, and in my opinion, most of them failing somewhat. You know, not like out in an outstanding manner, but enough to not make me be like, it was a good effort, good job. It felt like you probably went too left field with it when you should probably could have kept it a little bit more straight to who you were and variating a little bit. They did the opposite, which is fine. It's just they didn't really work very well. Having said all of that, tell me what were your favorite out of these ones, or your least favorite, and see you I think in a day or two, because I'm gonna release another video soon enough. Thank you for watching and see you next time.